It started subtly like a hairline crack in a once-perfect vase. My wife, Sarah, and I had been married for 8 years. We were that couple, the one everyone said was perfect. We finished each other's sentences, laughed at the same silly jokes, and held hands like teenagers. But over the past few months, a distance had grown between us, an invisible wall I couldn't seem to break through. It began with her work. Sarah was a consultant, and her job always involved some travel, but lately it had become relentless. "Another late night, honey," she'd text. "This project is a killer." I'd make dinner, eat alone, and save a plate for her that would often go cold and untouched. When she finally came home, exhaustion was etched on her face. She'd give me a quick, tired kiss and head straight to the shower, as if washing away more than just the grime of the day. I tried to be the supportive husband. I'd rub her shoulders, run her a bath, tell her how proud I was of her dedication. "It's just for a little while," she'd say, her voice muffled by the pillow. "Once this big client is locked in, things will go back to normal." I believed her. I wanted to believe her. Why would I have any reason not to? This was Sarah. I was doing our laundry, a shared chore that had somehow become solely mine. As I emptied the pockets of her work blazer, my fingers brushed against a folded piece of paper. It was a receipt. Not for office supplies, but for a hotel. The Grand Elysian, one of the most luxurious and romantic spots in the city. The date was from the previous week, a night she'd told me she was working late, stuck in a conference call that went on for hours. My heart started pounding. It had to be a mistake. Maybe there was a company event there. I checked the details. 1 room, king-sized bed, check-in time 7 p.m. Check-out 10 a.m. the next day. The charge wasn't on the company card. It was on our personal credit card, the one we shared. A cold dread washed over me. I went online and checked our credit card statement. There it was, a charge for Grand Elysian dining on the same night. Dinner for 2. A very expensive dinner for 2. My mind raced, trying to find a logical explanation. Maybe she took a client out. But why use our personal card? And why lie about being stuck at the office? The questions swirled, making me feel dizzy. I folded the receipt, put it back in her pocket, and tried to act normal when she got home. But the air between us was different. It was heavy with my unspoken suspicion. That night, I lay awake long after she'd fallen asleep, her back turned to me. Her phone, which used to lie casually on her nightstand, was now always face down, and she'd recently changed her passcode. "For security," she'd said with a shrug. I stared at the ceiling, my mind a battlefield of trust versus doubt. I felt like a fool, a paranoid husband. But the receipt felt like a shard of glass in my gut. A week later, another business trip. This one was to a city a few hours away. "Just for 2 nights, Mark," she said, packing her bag. "I'll be back before you know it." She kissed me goodbye, but her eyes didn't quite meet mine. The kiss felt practiced, hollow. As the door clicked shut, an impulse I couldn't control took over. I had to know. Her laptop was still on the dining table. We had a shared family cloud account for photos, something we'd set up years ago to share memories. I'd never snooped before. The thought itself felt like a betrayal, but her lies had already betrayed us. My hands trembled as I logged in. I navigated to her recent photo uploads, my heart hammering against my ribs. And there it was. It wasn't just a hotel receipt this time, it was a gallery of her other life. Photos from the Grand Elysian. Sarah laughing, clinking a champagne glass with a man. He was handsome, someone I didn't recognize. In one picture, his arm was wrapped possessively around her waist. She wasn't wearing her wedding ring. They looked happy, blissful even. A different kind of happy than I'd seen on her face in months. There were more. Selfies from a beach trip I knew nothing about. Photos from cozy dinners at restaurants we were supposed to try together. Each image was a dagger, twisting deeper into the illusion of our perfect marriage. She wasn't just working late, she was living a double life. The exhaustion wasn't from work. It was from the effort of maintaining 2 separate realities. I felt the air leave my lungs. The room started to spin. All the late nights, the business trips, the tired excuses, they all clicked into place, forming a hideous mosaic of deceit. The woman I loved, the woman I had built my life with, was a stranger. The person sleeping next to me, the one who whispered, "I love you," before turning her back, was living a lie. I closed the laptop, my mind numb. I didn't feel anger, not yet. Just a profound, crushing sadness. The foundation of my world had just crumbled beneath my feet. I walked over to the drawer where we kept important documents and pulled out a folder. Inside, nestled among our insurance papers and car titles, was another receipt I'd found just a few days ago while looking for a warranty. It was from a jewelry store, a purchase for a delicate gold necklace. I had assumed it was a surprise for me, maybe for my upcoming birthday, but in one of the photos on the cloud, there it was, glistening around Sarah's neck as she smiled into another man's eyes when Sarah came back from her business trip. I didn't confront her immediately. I let her unpack her lies, tell me about the tedious meetings, and the demanding clients. I watched her, this actress, playing the part of my wife, and felt nothing but an empty ache where my love used to be. That evening, I sat her down at the dining table, the same table where she left her laptop, our portal to the truth. I placed the hotel receipts on the polished wood, the first one, then the second, I'd found in another coat. Then, I turned the laptop around and showed her the photos. The color drained from her face. The mask of the devoted, hard-working wife shattered, revealing the stranger underneath. There were no more excuses, no more lies she could invent. The silence was deafening, broken only by her sharp intake of breath. Mark, ... double quotes, she started, her voice barely a whisper. But I held up a hand. There was nothing she could say. The receipts and the photos had said it all. She said it was just work, that she was tired from long hours and demanding projects. But the truth was there, printed in black and white and displayed in full, vibrant color. It wasn't just work, it was a betrayal, and our life together, the one I cherished, was the final devastating receipt of her lies. The work wasn't the project. The work was deceiving me, and now that work was done. It's a long road to healing from something like this. Rebuilding trust in others, and more importantly, in yourself, takes time. But the first step is always facing the truth, no matter how painful it is. If you're going through a tough time, please remember that you're not alone and help is available. Talking to someone can make all the difference. Thank you for listening to my story. If you found this meaningful, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more content. Take care of yourselves